Hey guys, this is Tauno. Today we're going to be talking about our 2025 sets for Magic the Gathering and everything you need to going into the next year. Obviously, 2025 is just around the corner somehow. Somehow we got to the end of the year already. And we already know a chunk about what is going on. We've got some big changes coming as well as some big sets to kind of look forward to. There's less products in 2025 according to Marrow. Basically, from what I can tell, he said there's going to be 6 less precons and 1 less product overall, which kind of sums it up into removing that Fallout kind of set where there's a no commander set, which is a product, as well as, 4 commanders. And then also, there's 2 less precons within Aether Drift. It looks like every other set should have 4 precons though. So just, it's removing it, but then also every set's going to be standard legal. So we'll see how people go with that. Anyway, make sure you guys subscribe before we get into it. We've got instant speed news. As soon as all this come out, we announce it all, and then we're going to do a summary just before the start of the new year. We also do, fun deck text, precon coverage, breaking cards for you guys to buy, all that kind of stuff. So starting out, we've got Astrad Remaster coming out January 24th, 2025. That's going to have this new headliners thing that they're going to be having in every set from now on. They're basically going to take 1 card from the set, and in this one, it's going to be Edgar Markov. And then they're going to pump out a huge amount of different variants for it that are going to be really cool. There's going to be the serialized versions as well. And overall, just kind of making 1 card like the focus of the set, essentially. So for this set, it is going to be that Edgar Markov, which is a huge, huge reprint. People are really excited for this one. And it's going to be, this command is like already $100 or something ridiculous. So getting him cheap is going to be great. We've also got some other confirmed really great reprints here with, Meathut Makasaka, Liliana of the Veil being like a planeswalker in the old school border, which is really cool. Archangel Avacyn, and then Emrakul the Promised End. We also know that there's going to be the reprints of the slow lands, the slow lands, which is good. We haven't got all of these kind of reprinted anytime soon. So it's good to see some of them getting reprinted here because some of them are kind of creeping up to like $5-10. We also know that from then on, it's getting into the standard sets for the year. All of the standard sets are going to be starting to rotate at the start of the calendar year in 2027, rather than waiting for that fall release. Like Bloomburrow, I think it was this time around, had a whole bunch of sets rotate out at that time. Instead, they're just going to go by calendar year from now on. They're going to bring back MSRP, which is really, really great. And we've seen all of that kind of detailed already. And then we've also got expanding legality for Universes Beyond. So starting next year, all Universes Beyond products are going to be standard legal, which means that, even if you just go into play standard, you're going to be experiencing them, which I know there's a whole bunch of controversy around. I think that it's okay, except for the fact that then they're releasing 6 standard sets in a year, which is, we'll see how that goes, if people like it or not. The goal is to make, legality simpler and easier to understand, because at the moment, someone starts and they're like, all right, my Assassin's Creed cards, what game modes can I use them in? Okay, my Doctor Who cards. Oh, I can't use those in Modern, but what about, I can use my Assassin's Creed stuff there. So it's meant to simplify that kind of stuff, and we'll see how people kind of react to it over the course of the year. Overall here, they kind of said, and also reduction to those straight to Modern sets that make it so that they were higher in power. So less of those, so that way Universes Beyond stuff shouldn't be pushing the power level quite as much. I'm not going to go into all of that detail right now, but overall, just kind of keep it in mind. It's a change going forward, not a change going backwards, not changing previous stuff, but it's going to be in effect and should be from now on. So this is our 2025 summary for the year, besides, the actual, in the full sets. So we've got Aether Drift, Tarkir, Dragonstorm. We've got Final Fantasy, Edge of Eternities, SpiderMan, and then this UUB, which we'll get to a little bit later on. And those are all going to be standard legal. So we've got Aether Drift first up, which you've already seen a little bit of. They are aiming, doing this kind of multi-planar race where they're racing across multiple different planes. They're going to start in Avishka, which you're probably wondering, hey, what's Avishka? I'll get to that in a second. You get into Amonkhet next, and then Muruganda third. Each place, is going to be having different cards from it and everything. That's where the race is taking through. It's meant to be like a Death Race, Mad Max kind of style thing, where, they're racing through to try and win this big prize. And the big prize we'll get to in a second. Also, Avishka is essentially essentially what Kaladesh used to be. They renamed it in universe after a revolution, removed the previous government, and they are united under the Vishkar Assembly. So the first thing they did was rename the whole plane over to Avishkar. So we've got some art from Avishkar, we've got some from Amonkhet, and then we've got some from Muruganda. And Amonkhet's got like the gods are coming back, like there's new gods and stuff, some really cool stuff happening there. Muruganda doesn't have a team within the race, but we're going to see some dinosaur stuff. We're going to see like ancient kind of stuff, which is really cool. So within that, there's going to be 10 two-colored aligned teams helmed by everything from goblins to insects. So, like the goblins are this, I don't entirely know what color they're going to be yet. They haven't said which color combination, but the goblins are from this plane, and their plane is based around speed. And they their whole thing was they needed to break the speed barrier. And then they ended up here and they're like, a race? We love speed. You guys love speed. Let's race. And then we've got these insects kind of racing together. And the cool thing about them is that their vehicles are actually insects, like their teammates that went through this kind of metamorphosis to become these cool, like actual vehicles, and they're all racing for the Aether Spark, which is meant to, or theoried to have the ability to allow someone to planeswalk even without a spark, and actually holds a planeswalker spark within it, which is really interesting. So, for example, one of the teams is the Speed Demons. I chose this one specifically because it's the one that's kind of tying into the storyline, because it's helmed by Winter from Duskmourn, who Velgavoth has allowed him to leave so that way he can go and win the Aether Spark, because Velgavoth wants the Aether Spark, assumedly to power himself up so he can escape from Duskmourn. And interesting thing is that Winter and the Speed Demon, which is the other main character here, is holding Loot captive. And the only thing I can imagine is Loot is strapped into the side of the car, with chains around him, maybe a gag on him or something like that. And they're just utilizing him as a really poor man's GPS or something. So the whole story is around Chandra co-leading one of the teams, and then she's racing for Nissa, assumedly to get the Aether Spark for Nissa, so that way, Nissa can continue on following with her or something. I'm not entirely sure. And, some cool art from the set. So a couple different cards, obviously there's going to be a huge amount of vehicles in there. We've got like some older characters like Doretti's coming back. We've got some characters coming back from Amonkhet. We've got characters from Avishkar / Kaladesh, lots of really cool characters coming back. And then there's going to be a cycle of Gear Hulks as well, which is really cool, where, these Gear Hulks are all meant to be similar to kind of the original style of them. And then they're all racing for the Aether Spark. And the Aether Spark, I believe, is going to be like the headliner card from this set, where there's going to be a bunch of different versions of it. And then we've obviously got, Chandra and stuff showing up too. And then two different precons, a Teema precon, which is going to be based around energy and artifact creatures, which is really cool. And then we've got an Eternal Might one, potentially, around Eternalize, cycling, and then zombies. And it says specifically grow your mummy army. And someone said that might be like a mass coming back as well, which would be cool, because a mass kind of came back with Lord of the Rings and kind of got a few changes there. So it would be cool to see it kind of show up here and how it kind of ties in, as well as the fact that these two precons, while they are Aether Drift, then neither of them are like vehicle based. So I will be very interested to see if they're like, they're just an excuse for them to make an Avishkar and Amonkhet kind of precon, or how that kind of plays into it as well. So into Dragonstorm, which is our second standard set for the year. We're revisiting Tarkir, which has been absolutely devastated by the Dragonstorms kind of happening and stuff. There's dragons escaping and all that kind of thing. It's a 3-color based set. So they worked with cultural consultants on each of the clans to kind of ensure more depth into them too. We've got dragons pouring out through the actual Dragonstorms all over the plane, making Sarkhan kind of happy as he can be. So he's going to show back up there. There's dragons, obviously. And we've got Ugin showing up as well, which is very interesting. And I'll be very interested to see how he kind of plays into it. I mean, we might even see Nicol Bolas kind of showing up or something. They kind of hinted a little bit on Marrow's thing the other day about Nicol Bolas and him, how much power he still has left. So, maybe we'll see a rift and a Omen Path kind of open up into his prison realm, and it allows him to escape or something. Who knows? They've got these cool Ghostfire variants too, which I really love. I think that they have some amazing art in them. Next, we've got the Final Fantasy set. This is going to represent all games from 1 to 16. We've got Terra, we've got Lightning, Noctis, we've got Cloud, we've got Chocobos showing up, we've got Behemoths, we've got iconic weapons, summons, and monsters from throughout it. So they showed a whole bunch of art for it previously, like, you know, we've got Lightning, we've got a whole bunch of different characters kind of showing up, which is really cool. I absolutely love that guy. I forgot his name. Someone told me his name last time, and I looked him up, and he's really, really cool. I think he's from Bad Guy from 15 or something like that. Oh man, I absolutely love it. I love his vibe. And then they showed another art since then for the release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on Steam. So we got Cloud and Sephiroth, I think his name is. And their art kind of matches together in like a panorama. So there's some really cool stuff they're kind of cooking up over here. And I know that that is one of the most hyped sets for the year. People are so excited for that. After that, we've got Edge of Eternity. So this is going to be a space-based / planet-based theme, science fantasy kind of stuff. So the cool thing about this is that it's also set within the Magic universe, right? And it's building across some stuff that they've previously talked about with the Blind Eternities and stuff. So this is going to be introducing us to the Edge, which sits on the outside of the multiverse. So they've showed some really cool art. I absolutely love that space whale. It reminds me of Doctor Who so much, where they had like the British or the UK had like taken a space whale and they made it into their home, and the space whale, it turns out, had come to rescue them and stuff. It's just really cool. We also have Tezzeret showing back up. It's mostly going to be new stuff, but for some reason Tezzeret's there showing up looking like a freaking emperor or something. And another part is that they have these team within Aether Drift, which is the Guide Light Voyagers. Now I believe that they could potentially be Azorius, but I'm not sure what colors they'll be. But these guys here are going to be a team within it, and they're trying to return home. Essentially, they're a collection of automatons captained by like a single hive mind, and they're trying to find their way back home because essentially they got dumped there by the Omen Pass, and they've gone through a few different Omen Paths to try and find their way back home, and they believe, you know, winning the Aether Spark will help them be able to get back there. And, you know, the way these guys are set up, they look so much like they could take place like in the Edge of Eternities. The headliner here is going to be this, I don't know, a Sothera the Supergiant or something like that, I think it is. This really, really cool art, though. I absolutely love this. It's really cool. After that, we've got SpiderMan. So this is going to be a full set for SpiderMan, including precons and stuff. Standard legal, similar to like the Final Fantasy one. And, you know, there's going to be, you know, precons for it. There's going to be a whole Spider-Man themed set. Now, I don't know how in-depth they're going to go into Spider-Man, or if they can leach out into other stuff. Like, you know, they have Spider-Man here, but then they'll go into like, you know, like Hell's Kitchen kind of stuff, like Daredevil. I could easily see like Daredevil being pulled into like a Spider-Man set, right? Like a city level set rather than Spider-Man, and they just kind of name it Spider-Man because he's like the headliner or something. There's lots of really, really cool stuff they could do with Spider-Man. And to me, this is the most hyped set for the year because I am a huge, huge Marvel nerd. I haven't got any Marvel merch within reach of me at the moment, but just, you know, just pretend I showed something cool from Marvel. I've got heaps of stuff up there. I absolutely love Marvel. So to me, this is one of the most hyped sets. It's a full kind of Spider-Man based set there. So on to the last one here. This is an unannounced Universes Beyond. Now, there's a number of different theories out there. A Warhammer set, like a second Warhammer set. Some people suggested Avatar: The Last Airbender, especially because of a thing that I'll show you soon. They're already in contact with Nickelodeon. So Avatar: The Last Airbender, I think, would just be an amazing set that would suit Magic so well, I think. And what was the other one? I think like another Lord of the Rings set people had theorized as well. Like there's just so many different IPs that they could potentially pair up with. But this is a full Universes Beyond set. So that does mean, as you have probably noticed, there is 3 Universes Beyond sets next year and 3 Magic IP sets. These are all standard legal. So, you know, every couple months, Standard's going to be getting a full new set added into it. Return to Lorwyn was meant to be the last set next year. However, it has been pushed back into 2026. So we'll see Return to Lorwyn there. Now, obviously, you know, I'm not going to argue whether this is a good thing or bad thing, having Universes Beyond and stuff like that. I do think that adding 6 sets into Standard in a year is a lot, but I'm not kind of, you know, I don't mind the fact that, like, you know, Spider-Man's going to be Standard legal, because of the fact that I do think it makes it simpler for people. And to be fair, when you have a look at the actual Magic based sets, even dating back ages, there has been a huge variety where they've kind of gone a little bit all over the place. So I don't mind too much that they're kind of, you know, trying new things and stuff, but we'll see how it works out and what the kind of feedback is around it. So on to what I said about them being in contact with Nickelodeon. There's going to be a SpongeBob SquarePants secret lair. Now, this is a secret lair. It is not a set. We don't know entirely how it's going to work, whether it's going to be like, you know, 5 SpongeBob cards. We don't know if they're going to be mechanically unique SpongeBob SquarePants cards, or if they're going to be, you know, just SpongeBob SquarePants, but it's secretly Queen Machisa or something like that, right? Like where it's just a reprint, and then they just, you know, do the whole Godzilla, I think was the first ones that did it. We'll see. I'm not a huge fan of SpongeBob SquarePants, but I know other people are, and I'm not going to, you know, be annoyed if someone whips out their SpongeBob SquarePants table, like deck at the table or something like that. That sounds like a really bad euphemism, but you guys know what I mean. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think, and I'm going to put a link here to my summary of the 2024 sets for Commander, all ranked. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.